Nigerian programmer facing up to 20 years.
Now to a scam alert, a Kentucky business owner is warning others after scammers impersonate.
More than 21,000 Kentuckians were scammed last year.
The amount of money lost could surprise you.
Nearly $52.5 million was lost to fraud.
In terms of corruption, Nigeria has a reputation, as you understand very well, for very massive corruption.
This is a story that shakes the limits of human possibilities and offers a deep look into the complexity and chaos that dwells in the mind of a black man, especially in Nigeria.
In this city in southwest Nigeria, everyone seems to know someone who scams Americans online.
The culture of scamming people, and that culture I think is in Nigeria, yes.
Shout out to Nigeria.
This story showcases the true power of knowledge, regardless of gender, and the peril that follows when it is being misused.
When you move like a CEO but forget the paperwork, the feds will circle back.
So her name is Sapphire Egemasi.
Tech Queen Sapphire Egemasi.
Sapphire Egemasi, a Nigerian.
Sapphire Egemasi, a self-driven software programmer with
over multi-million-dollar internet fraud and money laundering.
She had the apps, she had the funding, she had the press calling her the next big thing. Then the feds show up, guys. The feds showed up.
The FBI is looking into the situation.
Once hailed as a rising star in African tech circles, Nigerian programmer Sapphire Egemasi is now facing up to 20 years in a U.S. federal prison for her alleged role in a multi-million-dollar cyber fraud ring targeting American government agencies.
Sapphire Egemasi, a self-proclaimed tech queen who joined forces with others in the cybercrime ring and bled the entire American city of Kentucky dry. From the comfort of Nigeria, they siphoned millions from innocent citizens, emptying accounts and shaking the very core of their banking system.
Kentucky State Police say scam calls are on the rise and the hindrance.
Over 1.3 million stolen, worth over 2 billion naira vanished. She flew over 30 countries in less than 1 year, covering over 3 continents, living large and posting louder.
Baby, come to Dubai.
But how was it possible? What really happened? How did the FBI finally track her down after 4 long years? Let me take you back to where it all began. How she went from nothing to $1.3 million and then becoming FBI most wanted. This is the story of Sapphire Egemasi. Very little is known about Sapphire Egemasi's personal or family life. And maybe that was the point. She made sure you only saw what she wanted you to see. But here's what we do know. She didn't just appear. She emerged. Sapphire Egemasi, whose real name is Sapphire Chinemezu Egemasi, a 25 years old Nigerian. She wasn't born into power. She built it, line by line, code by code. From all indications, she was smart, private, introverted, or maybe just strategic. Like many teenagers in Nigeria around 2015, she probably had limited access to digital resources, and that could explain the late bloom in her online presence, which only took off once she became financially stable. Her childhood is mostly undocumented. Her family, a mystery. No verified interviews, no public family tributes, but as you can see from her socials, she hails from Imo State, Owerri. And through deep digging, a few things surfaced. One of her posts suggested that she had 3 brothers and appeared to be the only girl in the family. The shared photo revealed a strong resemblance between her and these young men, especially in their distinctive eyebrows. She was raised in Ikeja, Lagos, within a God-fearing home. and part of the RCCG family. From early on, she was deeply involved in church programs, choir routines, and teen ministries. But growing up surrounded by boys shaped her differently. She wasn't the quiet church girl. She harnessed lots of boy skills, like she could drum, hoop, and play video games with the best of them. To top things up, for some reason, Sapphire was always attracted to babies, meaning she loved kids. She attended the State Senior High School, GRA Ikeja, between 2015 to 2018. A school that, unlike many others at the time, was equipped with functioning ICT labs and access to computers. At the time, the school hosted an ICT program, fully sponsored by the official Dell company. Over 180 students were trained, including teachers, and the program lasted close to 8 weeks. Their goal was to raise tech giants, and looking back now, it's safe to say their mission was a success, because one of the standout participants was none other than Sapphire Egemasi. But let's be honest, a school lab alone doesn't build a tech queen. That takes something else, a hidden drive, a hunger, a spark waiting for ignition. However, there's no doubt that the school may have been a catalyst, igniting what was already there, unlocking the true potentials of Sapphire Egemasi. Somewhere between 2018 and 2019, after graduating, Sapphire Egemasi stepped into the tech scene, not with noise but with precision, like a storm in slow motion. While others were mindlessly scrolling, Sapphire was studying the internet, dissecting Python scripts, mastering blockchains, infrastructure, teaching herself Java and cybersecurity, all this not for fun but for survival. As a young girl dominating the tech space, her passion was outrageous. She began showing up everywhere. Tech events, youth programs, leadership summits, basically whatever gathering that promised innovation, impact, or global change, Sapphire was there. Her relentless pursuit for growth, digital and meaningful connections eventually led her to the ASEC Global. The ASEC Global. This is a youth-run international organization that focuses on empowering young minds through leadership, community building, and event management, and also connecting them with like minds around the world globally. And for someone like Sapphire, this was more than a good fit. It was the perfect community for her. She joined the ASEC Global Calabar chapter, where she worked actively from 2019 until around 2020, when the world was on lockdown and nearly everything shifting to online. But for Sapphire, new doors began to open. Through the ASEC network, Sapphire got connected with the Ghanaian chapter of the ASEC team, and during this period, she claimed to have studied and developed human resources management skills, strengthening her profile beyond just tech. And if there's one thing we've learned from tracing her footsteps, is that this Ghanaian connection may have been the spark that changed her life forever. In the same 2020, the coronavirus era, while the world was on lockdown, Sapphire was locked in and focused. And with global attention shifting online and millions forced into the digital space, Sapphire's quiet empire began to rise with the wave. Her tech personnel, digital branding, and presence suddenly had the visibility it needed, and it grew so fast. And now, in 2021, her rise was undeniable. There were no viral interviews, no prestigious tech awards, no traceable university breakouts. Her empire grew in the shadow of social media. Coding, Web3, crypto, UI, UX, blockchains, and was all into that tech stuff. Her presence in the tech space has grown so fast that she began calling herself the tech queen. and the people identified with this name as they were evidence to this cause. I mean, she built website, landed gigs, classy photos, professional branding on her pages, and many other stuffs. At the time, while other Gen Z scrolled aimlessly on TikTok, the few others chasing a better future looked up to Sapphire, as she kept on attracting aspiring tech minds from the comfort of her room. But beneath all the buzzword, beneath all the clean feeds and the polished posts, Sapphire Egemasi had something that was more than just a skeleton in her closet. Her life online was way different from what she did offline. And this is a side note from our research. While she was busy conquering the tech space, she was also tuned in, like the rest of Nigerians, to the popular TV show Big Brother Naija. According to our findings, Sapphire was a devoted viewer of the show during the 2020 lockdown edition, and she openly disliked Tasha, who was one of the most talked about housemates of that season. But by 2021, her energy shifted to another contestant, Angel Smith. Now, here's the ringer. She didn't just support Angel, she rooted for her fiercely online, tweeting and engaging as though something deeper connected them. Was it admiration or was it personal? Could there be a hidden connection between Sapphire and Angel? Yes, there was. It turns out Angel's boyfriend at the time noticed how obsessed Sapphire was with Big Brother Naija, constantly tweeting and talking about it. According to the reports, he approached Sapphire and her friends, asking them to help promote Angel online. At first, they agreed on just mutual benefits and handlers reveal. So Sapphire and her team went all in, talking about Angel, boosting her presence, and even doing some underground PR work. But when Angel eventually made it to the top 10 and then to the top 5 finalists, Sapphire's team requested for 2 million naira payments for their efforts. Angel's camp, however, refused, claiming there was no official agreement. Things quickly got messy and Sapphire even clashed with Angel's mother online. In the end, the trend faded and Sapphire was left with nothing but a damaged reputation and no reward. By this time, life was beginning to reward Sapphire Egemasi, the self-styled queen of Gen Z, and before the end of 2021, she was already earning millions, paying her own bills and quietly building. While many didn't know exactly what she was programming, tech was clearly paying off. It turns out while she was in Ghana working for the ASEC Global, underground Sapphire was actually meeting up with some HK cyber team in Ghana. This is more like a house where people with relatable ICT knowledge and skills come together for a certain goal, usually to get bulk money, similar to what you'd call Yahoo or fraudsters. Sapphire and her cybercrime team had a plan that would change their life forever, and they started working towards it. But no one was prepared for what came next. And around late 2021 to early 2022, Sapphire packed her bags and relocated to the United Kingdom, Cambridge precisely. No sponsors, no guardian, no agent, Sapphire flew solo, fully paid trip. But according to the reports, she was there on a mission. And this was a phase 1 of the plan, which we're about to uncover. Once in the UK, Sapphire blended in by enrolling in a program many believe was linked to LSU, a school known for more of sports and basketball culture than tech. Louisiana State University. Sapphire needed a visa to stay in Cambridge, a work visa at least, if not the permanent one. And that was when she worked hard and gained admission to one Anglia Ruskin University, a university that is connected to the British Petroleum Company, BP, which helps unemployed citizens of the UK acquire a job after the internship. Sapphire aced the program and earned a degree and used that degree in getting a job. She applied for entry-level sales roles as a volunteer in high-street fashion brands like Zara, H&M, BP, and many others, and she got the job. She then used this job to apply for a work visa, and it was granted. And now, phase 2 of their mission has been successful, which is getting a visa permit as well as a secure job. Fast forward to 2022, everything was going well as planned. Her personal style reflected this new chapter. She advertised for this brand, always looking sharp, branded, and confident. In many of her photos, the outfits were the focus, sometimes more than her face. A subtle but smart strategy to push products while building personal brand. Everything seemed to be working out. It looked like the stars were finally aligning. From here on now, we noticed Sapphire living a life many could only dream of. She made a post. She had visited Dubai that same 2022 with the caption,
Habibi, come to Dubai.
She bought the latest iPhone at the time of 2022 on pre-order before it was released. Always posting exotic meals she's had with her foreign friends and all. She was seen in different locations. This is her in Greece, here she's in Italy, and this is Portugal. The point is, with the lifestyle she lived, you could basically tell that Sapphire's source of income was not a regular one. The public noticed something wasn't adding up in terms of her job, progress, success, and all. But what do they know? With no evidence at the time, there was nothing to prove. Everyone kept watching and admiring her, not until Sapphire made a post on X. One tweet that changed everything. July 23, 2023, Sapphire tweeted, "Countries I have blessed with my presence." And in no time, it ranked up to 2.4 million views. Harmless, maybe, but that tweet would soon become the starting point of her downfall. The photos that followed up really caused a lot of reactions because what seemed to be a mere dream for people, Egemasi made a reality. She posted amazing photos of countries she has been to, such as Cape Town, Nairobi, Luxembourg City, Germany, Belgium, Amsterdam, Paris, Dubai, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, Portugal, United Kingdom, Greece, Czech, Italy, and so on. Sapphire toured over 3 continents, Europe, Africa, and the Middle East in less than 1 year, covering over 30 countries. Everybody admired and congratulated her. This attracted lots of attention, reactions, and more followers to Sapphire. And also some uninvited guests, the USA specialist, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, FBI.
And several Elizabethtown banks are reporting a surge in scams. Out to a scam alert, a Kentucky business owner is warning others.
Kentucky State Police say scam calls are on the rise.
The Kentucky Cabinet for Health and Family Services has received nearly 200 theft complaints since October 2nd.
Thanks, Rick. More than 21,000 Kentuckians were scammed last year.
Yeah, nearly $52.5 million was lost to fraud. That's the amount reported to the Federal Trade Commission.
If there's a red flag, hang up the phone and call your local circuit clerk's office.
The Kentucky Attorney General says the scam email is personalized.
Late 2020 into early 2021, while the world was battling with COVID-19, something else was quietly brewing in the city of Kentucky. A storm of complaints began to flood in. Citizens were speaking out, claiming that they were being scammed and robbed by the government. At first, the US brushed it off as internet noise, but then more reports, complaints, and evidence regarding this news came out. The kind of evidence too real and too loud to ignore. And then, to put more gas on the fire. This was the same time the US made headlines for arresting Hushpuppi, Nigerian infamous luxury scammer, as he attempted to siphon billions from the COVID-19 relief fund. A similar case This was a wake-up call. The FBI wasn't going to make the same mistake twice. The cybercrime division of the FBI launched a full-scale operation. No more warning, no more delay. Behind the scenes, the agency began connecting the dots, tracking IP address, payment trails, online activities, and more. Kentucky wasn't facing a random fraud. It was part of something much bigger. Meanwhile, back in 2023, Sapphire Egemasi was now living a life many could only dream of. Touring around countries, wearing designers, making new friends, amazing meals, everything about her screamed luxury. But her job title still said software programmer. People wondered what she did that bought her this expensive lifestyle. Some whispered, but again, without evidence, suspicions were just suspicions. And then, the Kentucky heist was confirmed. In August 2022, the federal investigators uncovered a massive fraud ring targeting US government COVID-19 relief funds. The city of Kentucky was one of the hardest hit, victims of a well-coordinated cybercrime operation. The FBI dug deeper, they traced digital footprints, flagged suspicious transactions, and pulled a list of accounts where the stolen funds were routed. They made their investigation, and there it was, a name that stood out. Sapphire Egemasi, our tech queen, was now officially a suspect. The FBI was on a trail, watching her like a patient predator. And since she has relocated from Nigeria to Cambridge, UK, the job got even easier. Her phone, her laptop, every move she made was monitored. And that's how they found out Sapphire wasn't just a brand influencer, but also a tech specialist. While the world saw and admired the young tech queen, Bizzare saw things differently. Since the fraud dated back to 2020 to around 2021, they believed the proceeds from those scams were what she used to fund her lifestyle and sponsor herself. To them, it was all fraud money. At the time, none of this was proven yet, but the suspicions was growing strong, and the case was open. The hunt continued. From 2021 till 2023, the FBI kept on watching, and Sapphire kept hosting. The FBI waited for years, carefully gathering enough evidence before making their move. Interestingly, Sapphire's viral post ended up helping, revealing more information and offering clues to both the FBI and the public at large. Three years has passed since 2021, and life was happening so fast for Sapphire. By this time, she had no idea that the FBI was silently closing in. They had her under constant surveillance. Every move she made was being monitored. Then, in the middle of the Kentucky fraud investigation, a new name popped up on their radar. Samuel Kwado, or say, a Ghanaian national. According to the record, Samuel was not just an ordinary hacker. He was the suspected ringleader of the syndicate that bled Kentucky's government dry. And quickly, the FBI connected the link between Sapphire and Samuel Kwado. At first, Sapphire's role seemed like a minor, but on a closer inspection, they found out that Sapphire used her programming skills to create spoofed websites. That is, expertly cloned replicas of the official US government portals. These websites are like clone or fake website that looks almost like the original one, designed to deceive or built to steal, and then fooling citizens and government employees alike into handing over login credentials and other sensitive information. And once the gang had access, they drained the account and removed their funds through a maze of bank transfer. That is, direct withdrawal from their banks. The FBI, through investigation, discovered that Sapphire didn't just build this website. She also helped launder the stolen money by linking up US bank accounts that would quietly receive the loot. That is, she was also in charge of distributing the stolen funds. One of their biggest hits was over $965,000 stolen from the Kentucky's government bank account, nearly 1.5 billion naira. A few months later, another $330,000, that's around 508 million naira, of scam transfer to an American account was recorded. The team made it look like a legit business transaction through the Bank of America. And it was around this time Sapphire had relocated to the UK. Through deep findings, the FBI found out that aside Sapphire coming to spend the money she has acquired and live the life of her dream, the plan was for her to make their foreign transaction easier after becoming a citizen of the UK. This whole cyber heist was carried out from 2021 till 2022, and Sapphire's fingerprint was on more than just the code. When the FBI estimated her potential cut from these crimes, which could be worth over hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not more, and that's around 500 million in Nigerian naira, then it started to make sense now. The luxury lifestyle, the expensive education, the frequent vacations, her outfits, meals, everything. While the world called her a tech queen, the FBI saw something else, a mastermind in plain sight. By this time, after a viral post, the FBI has gathered enough information already on the cybercrime team. But again, the FBI being the world best at what they do, they didn't move immediately. They simply waited for the dust to settle, and possibly for the team to make another heist before they strike. By this time, Sapphire had no clue the net was tightening. With mounting evidence, traced accounts, spoof portals, and digital fingerprint left behind, the FBI was done washing. It was time to strike. In April 2024, a grand jury indictment was issued. Charges for internet fraud and money laundering, all tied to the massive scheme that crippled the city of Kentucky. And at the center of it all was Sapphire Egemasi, who turned federal suspect. Alongside her co-conspirator, Samuel Kwado Osei, and others involved in the scam. It took close to a year to finalize the paperwork, track their movements, and confirm their active locations across different states. Then, Sapphire Egemasi and the cabal leader, Samuel Kwado Osei, after lots of arrangements, then traveled into the US early 2025 to make another heist possible. Of all places, the United States of America, right into the hands of the FBI. The FBI decided it was time since the fish are now in their nest, and bam! Sapphire and her co-conspirator Samuel Kwado were arrested in Bronx, New York, a quiet takedown that would later send shockwave across social media. While the arrest happened in silence, the news hit the public in June 2025, and chaos followed. Twitter, TikTok, and blogs exploded with posts. Omo, you reach Sahara Desert K. On a go dey do fraud, come dey tell us in a take. Set on fraud stars. They say you go bless prison for fraud, though.
Habibi,
come to prison. And someone even said,
hell no, man. What the f***, man?
From the looks of things, many Nigerians didn't show any form of sympathy and were happy to see her downfall, especially females.
When you move like a CEO but forget the paperwork, the feds will circle back.
Nigerian female hushpuppi. Yes, I mean, this girl was legit frauding the US government.
She had the art, she had the funding, she had the press calling her the next big thing. Then the feds show up, guys. The feds showed up.
However, many encouraged her and implored her smartness. Others felt betrayed that what a waste of knowledge, that she had used it to bring shame to her entire country, destroying the country's reputation even more.
In terms of corruption, very massive corruption, Nigeria has a reputation, as you understand very well, for...
Shout out to Nigeria.
Till this very moment, there's been no statement, no post, not even a single comment from Sapphire, or the federal authorities. And because of that, everyone keeps asking the same question: what really happened? How did the teenage tech genius go from a viral success to becoming one of the FBI most wanted in less than 3 years? The internet couldn't piece it together, so I did. I spent an entire month digging, researching, connecting the dots, and putting together the full story, and now I'm telling it all with amazing visuals for free. And if you appreciate the hard work that went into this, please like this video, drop a comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. And that's how you keep this channel alive. That's how you help us keep telling the stories no one else will. As at the time of this recording, Sapphire awaits trial at the Kentucky courts. However, the public has several thoughts of what's going to happen. Some said she'll rot in jail, while others believe the US will recruit her and give her a job. Some said she'll face deportation and permanent ban from the USA. But according to the law, this is what we believe is going to happen. As she's awaiting trial, if Sapphire is found guilty, under the Kentucky law, money laundering and cyber scam at this level will qualify as a Class B felony, which means she'll be sentenced to 20 years behind bars. However, there's a catch. Kentucky's system allows for parole after 20% of the sentence with a good behavior and a huge fine, usually around 20% of the scam money or the money involved in the scam. Meaning, if Sapphire plays her cards right, she could be eligible for parole in 4 years and a huge fine. After that, she'll face deportation. But until then, we all hope for the best. We will be here to give you more updates about this news as soon as we get a verified info. Please support us by liking, commenting, and also hitting the subscribe button. And do not leave without checking out this amazing crime story. Trust me, it's gonna blow your mind. See you next time on Dark Truth Africa.